minutes after. So I'm going to try to keep it at like 20 more minutes maybe of questions. Basically, everyone's going to get a chance to answer their own question, and then from there we'll probably like wrap it up just for the sake of time and not keeping y'all here all day because
Oh,
it's a big
wait, we're
commitment, I
back?
know.
Okay.
So
Robert says we're
Hey,
back.
thanks for hosting
we're
this, by the
back.
way.
Back.
Okay.
We are back.
Hello, everybody.
Baby.
Yay!
Let's go.
All right, silly Billy, where's the intro? We're back.
Last time on the interview that we were doing, we were talking about cockroaches and their milk being superfood.
It's a fact. It's true. Look it up.
Melt everybody
So
in
next
the
time you find a cockroach, just pick them up and suckle on them a little bit.
Okay. Future series.
Yeah. What made me decide to audition for DISVENTURE camp was like one time I just saw like I think the opening theme or the trailer for the second season on my YouTube recommended. So I watched it, it caught my attention, and I just stayed subscribed ever since. And soon enough, the open casting call and I auditioned. And yeah, honestly, I'd be down to audition for any other characters needed in future series too.
Awesome. Sounds good. I also hope you do because you are very talented. Keep
Thank you.
auditioning. Yeah. And I did see your message, Anna, so I can jump to your question really quick because you mentioned you have to go soon. I know it's a lot later for you than the rest of us. So, Anna, so a few people asked, what do you think of Ellie and Gabby's relationship?
Okay, thank you
Mhm.
for this skip for me. About relationship with Gabby and Ellie, yes.
Yep.
I think is a very cute relationship. Mm, they are much each other. They complement each other. You understand what I mean?
Yep.
Gabby is energetic, but Ellie is calm and quiet, and she together is the all. And I very like this relationship.
Nice. Yeah, it's a very like opposites attract sort of dynamic for
Mhm.
sure.
Yes, yes, yes. Mhm.
Awesome. All right. Next question for Genesis. Raving from England asks, how did it feel to be accepted as Dan's VA? Huge fan of your work, by the way.
Oh, thank you. You can see the heart. There's the heart. Okay. Um, yeah. For one thing, how do I explain the feeling? Picture sitting on a bench, overlooking a beach at sunset. No, I'm just kidding. It was genuinely a very like. I was absolutely ecstatic when I got the. Well, I was in the middle of watching Umbrella Academy with my mother when I got when I checked my phone and I got like notification like Jared wants to friend you. Um and I didn't want to like start screaming in front of my mother or anything, so I was like, "Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. No, I like this part too. Uh-huh. 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 Uh-huh." Yeah, but so no, I was absolutely ecstatic. And then I got the email that like I would be voicing Dan. And I was ecstatic. Don't get me wrong. I was absolutely overjoyed. I saw the name Dan and I went, "Oh, all right. I can't wait to see y'all for 2 episodes." But no, it's an absolute joy voicing Dan, and over the time getting to know the character, I wouldn't have voiced anyone else. I love Dan so much.
Aw,
Yeah.
great answer. All right. Next question is for Rachel. So Bella from the UK asks, what was your favorite scene from Ellie? She's my favorite character, and I wanted to know the best moment from the talented VA's perspective.
That's so sweet. Thank you. I know Ellie's a little bit controversial, but I'm really happy that you appreciate her character. My favorite scene that I did for her, I kind of mentioned this earlier, but probably when she was like telling off Jake in the cave and kind of completed her full villain arc. But really, any scene where Ellie kind of gets to be like a little bit more emotional or kind of do something that's like a little more involved, because that's a really great challenge for me to try to make kind of more of a monotone character get to, like, seem emotional by voice inflection and stuff like that. So I think that would probably be my favorite scene. But again, there's a ton of great scenes with Ellie. I also like how often she gets beat up. I think that's pretty funny too. So she tends to be a punching bag. Like for Gret, when they did the one challenge with the like sticks or whatever, and a couple other times in the season too. But I think it's funny.
Yeah, now that you mention it, she like gets hit by the dueling stick, she falls off a ladder, she falls off a rope thing.
Yeah, she like
She
gets
gets
sick from
tripped.
like eating the food or whatever. Like everything
Yep.
goes wrong for her.
Awesome. And also bye to Anna. Great answer, Rachel. Bye, Anna. Thank you so much for joining us again, um, all the way from across the pond. All right, next question is for Aubrey. So Maiko from Tokyo asks, is it hard to voice Fiore? And I assume they mean like maintaining that voice since you're voicing a 6-year-old.
First of all, hi, Michael from Tokyo. Uh, Second of all, it can be hard, but my natural voice is already quite on the higher range side. So actually, I feel like it would have been harder if I to maintain a voice like Ellie's voice for me than it would be Fiore's. But sometimes when like Fiore is like shouting or yelling, that's when it can feel a little bit more straining. But other than that, it comes fairly naturally to me.
Nice. Yeah, and come to think of it, Fiore does have a lot of yelling lines, so you definitely had to
Oh
put a lot of
no.
energy into that. Um,
Yeah, the screaming was a bit challenging for me because it's hard to scream as a child when you're an adult.
naturally, but you did a great job. Uh,
Well, thank
next,
you.
yeah. Next question is for Vanessa. So Harold Likes Cats asks, say that 5 times fast. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you relate to Gret?
Well, I would say a pretty like solid 8 to 9.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, like there's a lot of things we both have in common. So, um, like this is getting deep and personal. Wow, this question. Okay, so
You don't
I
have to
guess
go
she has
super
like a
deep
lot
if you
of
don't want to.
yeah, but yeah, that like that's kind of like because she has a lot of like deep insecurities like in within herself, so she like lashes out to people. So yeah, and like obviously family issues, but yeah, I relate to her so a lot.
Nice. Awesome. Great answer. Next up is for Josh. So Lucas from Melbourne, Australia asks, being a survivor of an abusive LGBT relationship and constant victim shaming from outsiders, I felt very seen by your characterization, and I'm so grateful for the representation and showing me that my feelings were valid. How did it feel to tackle such a serious storyline and arc?
I'm really happy that like my performance and like Jake's character had that effect on people. Because a lot of Jake's a character that I relate to like a lot in the ways of like what he goes about and what he goes about doing. And I'm really happy that I could represent the queer community in a positive light in that way. A lot of like Jake's central story beats with like relationship issues, I can like relate to a lot. The day that like I sent in my audition for Disventure Camp was the last day I spoke to my own grandmother, and the day that I got the casting call from Jared was the day of her funeral. So I was really happy to be able to like kind of portray that in a light and tell that story. It was something that really meant a lot to me. So I'm happy that it at least other people seem to pick up on it.
Absolutely. And we love you, Josh, and you did an incredible job this season, so be proud. All right. Next question is for Kenkoi. Sisu, hope I'm saying that right. Sisu from Hungary asks, would you be friends with Lil IRL?
Oh, that's so nice. First off, thank you, Cece, for the question. And yes, absolutely. I think, we could have like our little like mom squad, make sure that our friends don't get into trouble, or if they do, we'll be there to help out, bandage any wounds or injuries or be emotional support because that's very important. I think it's important to have like, you know, your variety of different kinds of friends and also that one to look out for everybody because I think that's important. Everyone needs someone to look out for them.
Aw, nice, yeah. Lil is
Aw.
definitely, like, such a nice character, like, I if you could channel that energy, it'd be awesome. Um, she's a good person to have in your corner. Alright, next question is for Kat. Vixie from Florida asks, "Did you expect Miriam to be in the final 3 and to be one of the best characters of season 1?"
Well, not really. I expected her to be great, don't get me wrong, because I did watch the beta of everything, and so like I already knew the character, and I expected like that same adornment and everything, but I very much expected her to get cut off way earlier. Like the second I saw that there was an episode of like, there's the backstory drop, I'm out like next episode. Cause I remember last time it's like I was used for Jake's story and Jake's expanding, and so I was expecting that all over again. And then I got further, and then Jake got eliminated, and then I paused and I went, "No, that's I was expecting that." So I very much wasn't expecting her to get as far as she did. So, getting the crown in the end was a nice little surprise.
Absolutely. It's a nice little comeback story for her, for sure. Like, no one expected it, so
Hmm.
it's really cool to see. Alright, next question is for Derek. Virag from Hungary asks, "What's your opinion of Nick?" Just what's your opinion? What do you think?
I think Nick is so fun to voice. He has some one-liners that are just they're iconic. They're a blast. And when I auditioned for the voices, I think I auditioned for most of the male voices, and Nick was on the bottom of what I thought I was going to get cast as if I was going to get cast, because I had never done a British voice in my life. It was so unexpected. Um, but Nick's storyline is so complex because he's so fun to voice, but he made a massive mistake in the end that bit him in the butt. And so that's the reason he got eliminated, and it's his fault. It's the consequence of his actions. But I do think that he has a lot of potential, and he's really funny. He's really funny. So honestly, it was a blast to voice him. It was a great question too. Thank you.
I agree. Nick is hilarious. I love Nick. We were robbed of more Nick screen time. All right. Next question is for me. So Camille from Poland asks, "What was the hardest scene to record?" For me, it was probably the season 10 elimination, just because it got really emotional. And without getting into it too much, it was definitely a time of recording that kind of took me to a place in my life where I was like, ooh, that resonates a little too closely with like some of my past relationships. And it was just, it was tough, like emotionally to get through it, but it was also very therapeutic and liberating to do that. So I was really happy to do that. And I was really grateful to be able to play a character with Tom's representation. I just thought was really powerful and just is so much fun. It really fed my soul. So that was probably the hardest scene to record emotionally. Um, Technically, was probably the ADR dubbing moment from episode 4, the fight scenes, just because when we were recording, it was like the middle of summer in Atlanta where I live, and it was really hot, and I was in my closet at the time, so it was really tough to get through that. I was really exhausted by the end of it. But yeah, that's my answer. The next question is for Turg. So a few people asked, "How did you feel knowing that Will was first boot?"
Well, I thought he was gonna go far because from the beta, he was. I know. I also knew he was an early elimination, so I'm like, okay. I knew that he wasn't going to win. Like I can tell that he wasn't. I just thought he was gonna go far, but when I found out he was the first elimination, I'm like, huh. At the same time, I couldn't think of anyone else who would be a better first elimination. So, kind of accepted it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just like, "All right, this is this is what we're coming in and doing."
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, that being said, it's like with any cartoon, sometimes the most memorable characters are the ones that have the fewest lines. You know, you can definitely make an impression. And I think you did. So next question is for Steven. Noah Lover asks, are there any hobbies you do outside of voice acting?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love, first of all, I love the name Noah Lover. I don't know which Noah it is, but either way, shout out to Noah Lover. Yeah, usually if I'm not voice acting, I'm probably spending my time scrolling through Michael Kim's Instagram feed and just checking out his photos and just, whatever happens, happens. But I
Same.
guess if I'm not involved in that, just video games and making YouTube videos, man. I actually just went. I'll be quick, but there's a big TikTok meme going around about this woman who quit Walmart named Gail Lewis, and I live like 2 hours from that Walmart, so I just drove there and like just filmed a whole video running around trying to find her and stuff. So those are the types of things I'm doing whenever I'm not recording lines for Disventure Camp.
Awesome, cool. Yeah, and check out what's your YouTube? Plug it.
Noah, Noahh.
Check it out. There's some
Yep.
good stuff on there.
Thanks.
Real quick before the next question, we do have to see Vi out. Vi has to get going. Thank you so much for joining us. It was a
Absolutely.
pleasure.
Thank you all for having me. I love this venture camp. I love all of you. Um, and have a great rest of the Q&A. If anybody is interested, I do have a cover YouTube channel. It is called Veister9. Right now I have about 4 covers, but if you would like to hear me sing what I normally do, you could find me there. Thank you all for having me again, and have fun.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Vi.
Bye.
And I can attest, Vi is a phenomenal singer, like Broadway level. I'm not kidding.
He's
Such a
fantastic.
Literally
talented
so
singer.
good. So good.
All right. We're almost done here. We're going to just do a few more. I'm going to make sure everybody gets a chance to answer their own question here. So next up is Silly Billy.
Ooh.
Yari or Yeri from Texas asks, "What's your favorite thing about voicing Trevor?"
Oh, my favorite thing about voicing Trevor, I think the creative liberty I'm given in improvising a little bit. Like Trevor is like it's a little bit of script and a little bit of me, and that makes me love the character so much to play. It's so fun to just like record 3 or 4 lines the way the script was written, and then toss in 1 or 2 of my own, and it leads to some fabulous outcomes. And I love Trevor for that.
Awesome, yeah. And I did a real quick thing. There were a few people who asked, like for us to say like specific things, but I didn't want to do that because we're doing the cameos. But there was one I really wanted to happen, and it's for you, Billy. So Amelia from Poland asked if you could do a Trevor line in Dutch for us.
Oh, oh,
Since there's
Ooh.
not a
that's
Dutch dub right now, it'd
that
be
is
cool.
so crazy because it's so weird to translate Trevor's speaking to Dutch. Okay, let me try. Let me try. Let me
You
get
got
into
this.
character here. De vorige keer bij DISVENTURE Camp. Ja, en dan, wat gaan we dan vertellen? De kandidaten streden om de immuniteit. En ik ben maar wat aan het improviseren. En niemand heeft enig idee waar ik het over heb. Behalve de mensen die daadwerkelijk Nederlands spreken.
Amazing.
Ooh.
Oh, that was so
Oh.
good. I could listen to that
The
forever,
Trevor-
honestly.
It's
Trevor
it's
energy
a
carried
deep
over, yeah.
deconstruction of DISVENTURE Camp. The Dutch people will understand.
Nice, nice.
I really hope that was just like a really long call out of all of us individually in Dutch. Just
Billy
brutal
just roasted
insults.
all of us.
Surely
We didn't even know.
not.
Surely not.
All right. Next question is for LJ. So Cyber D from Argentina asks, first, I want to say that I really love your acting and voicing Jensen. Your work, like everyone else's, is magnificent and generates so much happiness when I'm listening to it. What do you think of your character?
Jensen is very angry, very got a criminal underground GTA in real life for Jensen, but I think there's a bit of evil in that man, and I feel like we explored it, but I'd want to explore it some more, if I got the chance, but you know.
You just might. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, playing villains is always a lot of fun. I'm sure. All right, and I think our last question here today is going to be to Pull. So Spy from Scotland says, "Hi, I absolutely love Crystal, and I want to ask how you got into voicing her, and what do you like most about her? Also, I love her design, and I thank you for being such an awesome talent."
Oh, okay. First of all, thank you so much for that question. And well, I guess I gotta tell my story, and I'm not going to extend too much because of time, right? But it's a fun story that I like to tell. Um, okay, not a lot of people know this, but I actually voiced someone in the beta. And well, I already knew the series like way long ago, and I saw they wanted some additions, and I actually auditioned for the Spanish cast, not for the English cast. But back then, the fandom of the Spanish speakers was like a very, very big thing. Like English speakers didn't see a lot of this Venture Camp, but the Spanish speakers did. And I am a Spanish speaker. And I was like, oh, yes, they finally opened the cast. And I was like so excited and I auditioned for the Spanish cast, and they closed it right off in the first day. And my email never got sent.
Oh.
And I was so heartbroken. It was so frustrating because there was like a lot of people that bombarded the email and I was like, "Oh my god, no." And then Gmail didn't send my email. And I was so angry and I was like, "Oh, shucks." And then a month later, they said like the English cast was still open. I was like, "Well, I guess I gotta give it a shot, right?" And I auditioned for, I believe it was Ria, Tess, and Crystal. And yeah, I got Crystal and I got excited. Like was I was like, "Oh, okay, I got it." Well, maybe it was meant to be. Maybe I wasn't meant to be in the Spanish cast and rather in the English cast. And honestly, I wouldn't have it in another way because I actually got the chance to meet you guys and I'm so grateful and I feel so blessed. And real quick, what I like about her is because I like her mischievous and evilish nature. I don't enjoy hurting others or being mean like in purpose. And Crystal is like so over the place and sometimes so mean. And I kind of enjoy being like another person that is not me.
Nice, great answer. And we're super happy you are here as well, Paul. It's an
I love
honor.
you, Paul.
Such a good cast. All
No, I
We
right.
love
love
you.
Bull.
That is going to be all the time we have for questions because we already went later due to some technical difficulties. So I want to make
Yeah.
sure I get everybody out of here. But just want to thank you all for tuning in. And of course, thank my fellow castmates for taking the time to do this. This was super fun. Um, yeah, make sure you check out the fundraiser. Um, Genesis,
Sorry,
did you
Jace.
have?
Jace,
Hey, Jace,
sorry.
there's Rob's got a thing in the chat for you to read
Oh,
before we go.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
yeah, what's up?
Yeah, the thing about the chat.
Yeah,
Oh.
so
Oh,
Robert
I
just
didn't say, I'm sorry.
Robert just asked a question from Esdras Mendes. What was everyone's reaction like when they found out they were accepted to work on the season?
Oh,
I
okay.
did
Yeah,
already answer that, yeah.
I think we can all answer that really quick.
I can go kind of quick because mine's pretty funny.
All right, Josh, start it off.
Like I said, wasn't in the best environment. It was at my grandma's funeral, and Jared and Robert contacted me on Instagram. I never gave them my Instagram, so I don't know how they found it. So I spent a while being like, "Is this real? Is this the actual Disventure Camp account, or am I being punked here?" Because I wasn't sure. But other than that one, I was really, really happy when I learned that I got to be Jake because I did not believe that I would actually be able to be like a major role in anything.
Nice. Mine is kind of funny too, because when I got the email, I didn't remember who all the characters were. Like, I didn't have their names match up to their faces yet. And they're like, "Hey, we want you to voice Tom." And I thought Tom was Dan. So I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. I'm voicing the nerdy guy." Because I figured, like, with my voice, I'm like, if I get casted, it'll probably be like Jake or Dan or something. I never expected to get Tom. They're like, "No, we want you to voice Tom." So I was just super excited because I'm like, this is not a character I get to play very often. So yeah, I was super stoked for it.
Your
Uh,
cosplay was stellar, by the way. Just to
oh, thank you.
say that as well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You can
It
see
was
my
amazing.
cosplay on my Instagram, which is now Jace Hansen VO. I made it more official. But
I
yeah,
did see someone in the chat asking like, "Do we have we ever cosplayed our characters before?" So yeah, there's your answer for Tom.
I have catch us at DisVentureCon 2025. I don't know. We'll make it
Yes,
happen.
exactly.
Derek.
Yeah, thanks for the dono, Esdras Mendez. I might have slaughtered that. So sorry. um, yeah, I I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised to play Nick, and I knew it was going to be a challenge, an uphill battle, because I knew I was going to slaughter the accent, but I was also going to learn a lot along the way, and it was just so much fun to be angsty and to do it in an accent and to pretend like I'm a different person. So it was it was awesome.
Nice. Genesis.
Yeah, so like I said, when my biggest reaction was trying not to freak out in front of my mother when I got, the message. But when my mother left the room when we were done watching Umbrella Academy, I went upstairs and I screamed into a pillow for maybe a good like 5 minutes, a healthy amount of time. That's fine. And then um, I um, I called one of my I called who did I call? I called someone.
You called me.
I called my I called my significant other and I was like, "Oh my god, I got cast in something," because I told her like, I was gonna do some VA work. I didn't say what, so I kept on the DL about that. But I was super ecstatic.
You
I
didn't break
voice
your
acting has always been a
NDA.
dream.
Good job. You
I
didn't
did
break
not
your
break
NDA.
my NDA. I want to make that clear. But yeah, voice acting has always been a dream of mine. I've always wanted to do it. I just never had the confidence in it. So this has really, really boosted my confidence a whole lot. I'm very happy to be working with y'all.
Much
Very
love.
happy to work
Much
with you too.
Aw.
LJ, how did you react?
Um, just pure, just pure happiness, to be honest. Like, I've always wanted to voice a cartoon character, and the fact that I've done that to fulfill that dream, it's like I'm just I can't put it to words. It's like amazing. It's really amazing. Like to see it, like my voice on like this screen and watch and like showing it to family and stuff. It's just so yeah. It was just pure like, oh my god, this finally happened. You know. So
Nice. And you're like an actor extraordinaire, right? Because you do a lot of theater as well, like stage
I
theater.
know I do a lot of theater, but I
Mhm.
haven't. All of it is just theater, so it's so nice to break out
Switch
of
it up.
that. Just switch it up for a moment, you know, and yeah, I would love this. I would love to keep on going with this. I love voice acting. And listening to all of yous has just inspired me to be like, oh my god, yous are so talented, and I'm like taking notes on like what's people do. Ritex, you're a little note about you listen to everybody's voice lines before putting in your own. Noted, noted. That's really good.
That's smart.
My little trick.
All right. Michael, I guess for when you were casted in season 2, how did you
Oh yeah,
react?
oh yeah, back when season two was a thing. Yeah, I think like uh I was at that point where I was looking at the cast, and I think Connor and all, much like Derek's disposition, I was like, there's no way I'm getting Connor and Oliver, and would I even want them? Because like, look, they're not going far. But it turned it. I did get them. Who I thought I was gonna get was probably Yule, because
Mhm.
we're both Korean. I can speak the language. I thought I was locked, but I went the most generic jock douchebag way with you all, and I love what Marx did, making him super fruity and RuPaul like. Um, so
RuPaul, like,
and
I love
and
that.
I changed my mind on Oliver and Connor, so it all went great. So that's all I gotta say.
Nice. Rachel, how did you react?
Yeah, so I really have the fabulous Michael Kim to thank for telling me about Disventure Camp because I was kind of outside the loop on it, and he had mentioned that they were recording this season and everything. And when I like looked up, I was like, "Whoa, this is a massive community I had no idea about." So I then submitted an audition, and he then got back to me and was like, "Great news! Like you're going to be playing Ellie," and I was so happy. It was really intimidating, kind of coming into like the Disventure Camp community because the last couple of like voiceover projects I've been doing have kind of had like a smaller fan following, and then like once they come to fruition, that's kind of when they have blown up and gotten big. So kind of going into a world that already fully existed before I was a part of it was a little scary, but I was really excited to give my own take on Ellie and get to meet everyone and join the Disventure Camp family. So
Yeah. And you slayed it. You definitely brought Ellie to
thank
life.
you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
All right. Steven, how did you react?
Are you sure your question for me isn't our Derek and Trevor thing? Because I've seen that 5,000 times in the. No, I'm just kidding.
It keeps popping up. Yes.
There are a lot of questions about ships.
I was at work whenever I actually got the message, so I remember like reacting internally, but I couldn't actually react because I wasn't supposed to be on my phone, so I had to be like sneaky about it. But I remember it's so funny that the ordering of how we are in this call that I'm going right after what Rachel just said about Michael, because I was going to also praise Michael again for like the 50th time. I have to, because if it wasn't for Michael, I'm not here. Like Michael is the only reason why I'm even here, because I sent in my audition late. And my like the auditions closed and I had mine done, but I didn't send it in. And Michael sent in a message for me and got me to be able to send it in. And if it wasn't for him, I'm not even here. So I owe everything to Michael Kim. And just being in here has meant so much, because being in those projects before, we had this group that we all got so close. And so I'm like, hell yeah, more friends. I love meeting new people. And so to be able to see all the people that I was in previous projects with back in here, especially Michael and Derek, these guys, meeting them online have become family to me, and they mean so much to me. So being able to be on a cartoon with them online was something that we've all loved for years. It's just so special, and it's unlike anything I could ever dream of. So I'm absolutely honored.
That's so sweet. And also Michael over here being a talent scout, like recruiting
Yeah.
everyone. That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Just getting
Uh,
all my friends on here as much as I
you
can.
got talented friends though. Like it works.
Because DC2, I'm telling you, Disventure Camp Season 2, I don't know any of those voice actors beside like a couple. Like this family thing you guys got going did not exist, so I needed to push
Oh.
it.
Mm. Sweet. All right, Vanessa, you're next. How did you react?
I was confused because it took like a month for me to get a response because I sent my thing in and my audition in, and then I got a message from a golden taquito on Discord, which was just like I think Robert with like it was like a disventure, like it was some sort of total drama and like face looking thing with a golden crown. And I was very confused. I was like, wait a minute, huh? No. No, no. Wait, who's Brett again? Oh, the yellow one. Okay, got it.
The iconic
The
yellow
yellow one.
jumpsuit. Awesome. And we're all glad that Golden Taquito reached out to you.
Parts to Golden Taquito.
Shout out to Golden Taquito wherever you are. We don't know who Golden Taquito is. No.
I was also confused when I saw that username. I'm like, who is this? All right. Aubrey, you're next. How did you react?
Okay. I actually low key thought I was dreaming because I have been following Disventure Camp for a while. I actually like managed to see the beta one. I didn't get to see it like in English because it was already taken down by the time I got to it. But yeah, I already like knew about all the characters. And then when I saw it was Fiore, I was like really excited because this is going to sound really ironic. Fiore was my least favorite when I watched the beta version. I hated her so much. So like because of that, she was the one that I wanted to be the most. Cuz I was like I love voicing characters that I hate for some reason. And then like now she grew on me so much and I love her. And I also love like the glow up that she got and she got like a ton more layers to her character. But yeah, I hated her in the beta version and that was why I wanted to be her.
Nice. Sometimes it's a fun challenge to get like a character you don't like and be like, okay, how do I get into this character's head now? Also, for the record, Fiore is also my mom's favorite character, so you did a good job.
Oh, thank you. Tell your
My
mom thank
mother's favorite
you.
is Gret.
Oh. All right, JPEG, you're next. How'd you react when you were cast on season 2?
It was kind of like the Willy Wonka golden ticket, honestly. I remember I just finished playing a visual novel named Virtue's Last Reward, and I was like, I really want to play this with my friends. I want to, voice act with my friends, play the characters. But I need a sign because I'm not a voice actor. And then I look my email, and Jared and Robert messaged me, and I'm like, oh, there's the sign. I guess I'm a voice actor now. So that led to a lot of great things. So it was awesome. Willy Wonka golden ticket.
Nice, I love that. Hand selected. Next up is Kat.
Well, it's funny because I was at a family event, but I was checking my phone and I noticed like, oh, there's something here. I'm gonna go look at this, and immediately I like noticed what it was. But when I saw Miriam's name, that's when I took a pausing second of like, was this the right cast? Am I supposed to have this message? Because I didn't think I got casted for Miriam of all people. It was a very unexpected result, but it was really funny. And I was just kind of sitting in the basement, like away from all my family, like look at the fact I got in for like at least half an hour. And they all were like, "Are you okay? What happened?" And I'm like, "Nothing. Nothing. Don't worry about me. Go back to dinner." So
Everyone
that's how
else
it went for me.
Nice. Yeah, everyone else is just like, "Yes, I would love to play this character," and you just message back, "Are you sure?"
You
Like,
sure this is right?
is this right? I love it. But I could not hear Miriam as anybody else at this point, so you did an amazing job.
Oh, thank you.
Kenkoi.
Okay, so first, I also need to sing high praises to the Michael Kim because he, showed me the casting call for the project as well as season 2, but things didn't happen because internet is awful and I guess Gmail didn't work out. But I will
What is
say
it with Gmail?
I it it's so used so much, but I
Both
will
Lil
say,
VAs too.
oh,
Sorry.
yeah, that's no, that's true. That's true. But I will say, when I got the announcement for Lil, I was honestly like kind of surprised and disbelief because like any struggling actor, whether it's like live work and even voice work too, sometimes when you do auditions, you don't always get them. And I was having a very very dry period of just like not landing anything. So definitely this perked my spirits up a lot, and especially because I don't get cast for very nurturing characters all that much. It's always kind of like rude, cold, calculating, unemotive people. So to have this opportunity to, you know, play this character finally, I'm like, yes, please. Like Michael, thank you so much. I like for real, like thank you. Thank you so much. And Robert and Jared for, creating this and bringing us all together.
Yeah, sure. Why not? No, but that's awesome, and it's cool you've been able to like show off your range because you are extremely talented, and it's
You.
awesome to have you as part of this cast. Crystal, you're next.
Okay, so I happened to audition for Ashley, Fiore, and Lil, and so on the day of when they were casting people, I happened to check my Gmail, and then just saw like an email they sent over saying I got cast for Ashley, and I was just like so overwhelmed with like excitement. I was screaming with joy literally like all day. My mom had to check on in me, being like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm good. I'm good." But yeah, I'm I'm just like very, very honored to, you know, have been able to play like such a lovable and awesome character like Ashley.
I want to say
Absolutely.
something.
Yeah, go for it.
After we got casted, I looked in the comments of like the audition video and I saw like Chris Dolly saying like, "I just put in my auditions for Fiore and Ashley. Hope you guys consider me." I'm like, "Huh. Well, time is interesting, isn't it?" Sorry, I just had to say it.
You definitely won the fans over too, and if you remember, a lot of us said Ash was her favorite character, so you definitely knocked it out of the park. And your southern
Thank
accent
you
is really
very
good.
much.
As someone who lives in the South, it's a very good southern accent.
Aw,
You're
thank you.
welcome. Next up is Poll. How did you react? You kind of talked about this, but I'll let you reflect on it again.
Okay, so for Lil, I wasn't expecting it like at all because it was probably the least character I would think of. I would get casted to because I think my voice as Lil is like actually really different from my own natural voice. It's actually like an octave lower, and it's a little hard. And it was like, wait, is it true? Oh my god! And I was like, I screamed. Yes, I screamed a little, and I blasted at some music. And as for Crystal, yeah, you heard it. I was so excited, but overall, I was like quivering. I was like, I didn't care about which character I would get. I was just like so excited that I got an actual role.
That's awesome. And you're one of the few people that's in two versions of the show, including Anna, who's in the Polish dub as well. But you're in two versions. That's amazing. Voice acting in two languages. That takes
Yes.
a lot of talent. So well done.
Thank you.
Next up is Rytix.
No, I might have some details wrong, but I think I was actually talking with LJ at the time. It'd been over like a month since we auditioned, so I
Mhm.
kind of just figured we didn't get any roles. When suddenly LJ pipes up things like, "Oh, Anthony, I got in." So I was congratulating him and all that, and he's like, "Check my email, check my email." And so I do. Lo and behold, golden ticket, golden email, sitting in my Gmail account, and I'm ecstatic. Before I opened it, I was thinking, who did I land? Who did I land? And I just sort of convinced myself that I got Drew because I was so confident with my Drew voice. But then I see it's Alec, and I'm like, who? Oh, Alec! Alec! I got Alec! And like, I was just having a mild freak out. Like, I'd forgotten what voice I gave him.
I
But
remember
man,
that.
it was,
I remember the freak
yeah.
out.
It was just so exciting hearing that go apart, and with my good friend LJ. Like, what were the chances we both got a role?
That
It was
when
it was
when you guys mentioned you were IRLs, I was like, "What are the chances of that? What? That's crazy."
So many
Yeah.
friendships in
crazy,
the
honestly.
Adventure Camp cast, you know, of like people
It
going.
was
It
really
was so
cool.
weird, LJ. The first day we had the table read, and you told me that we had met on like in a Survivor game like 2 years prior. Like that was insane. Sorry for running you off again, by the way. But anyways, that was insane.
And it's just the connections that this cast has from.
Yeah,
like,
it was
it's
wild.
like destiny, you know, like we were supposed to do this.
Yeah, like LJ is my brother. I don't know if you knew that. Like, it's just you know, it's out of the blue. It just kind of happened that way.
We're all actually related in some way, shape, or form. But awesome. Like you two definitely make a dream team, and it's so cool. Like how many people like know each other, like going into it, and like how many people become new friends now. It's definitely big happy family now. So awesome. Silly Billy.
Yeah, so for me, I have always wanted to get into acting and voice acting. So getting the part in the first place was insanely cool. And I was kind of hoping, with the fact that I knew that Jared and Robert knew of the existence of the Silly Billy channel and the new season just coming around the corner, I thought maybe, just maybe, I get to voice like a little cameo character here and there. Just so maybe the first boot or something like that. Just something to drop my name in there, and then I'm out of there again. And then I got casted, and I was like, "Oh, that's so cool! Who's Trevor?" And so I looked up, and I went, "Wait! I'm hosting this show? Huh?" That was the coolest moment in my YouTube career, and maybe my life so far. So yeah.
So sweet. Yeah, I could not imagine anyone else as our hosts. Like, y'all crush it. It's the voices are just so good, so iconic.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah. And last but not least, Turg.
So, when I auditioned, I didn't even know I didn't even know about they were holding auditions until like my sister, like, he's like, "Hey, I know you like Total Drama." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." And they're like, "Okay, there's this cool series, Adventure Camp." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And they sent me the audition form. I'm like, "Okay." And I went for most of the male characters. I think the only ones I didn't go for were I think it was like Nick and Alec. Uh, I did not expect to get Will at all. So I was at home. I was talking with my brothers, and I'm like, okay, I might as well check my email. I have nothing else to do. And I didn't know who Will was. I didn't know who Will was. I'm like, who's Will? Once I found out who Will was, I'm like, okay, wait, huh?
This seems to be an ongoing theme. Like, we were all like, "Wait, who are we? Which one?"
Like, I was like, I'm like, all right, if I'm gonna get anyone, I think it's probably gonna be either like Dan or Jake. But no, I
Same.
got Will. I'm like, what? Will? And funny story is, like, I think after episode 1 came out, and like everyone knew who everyone was, one of my friends like DM'd me immediately. Like, they're like, "Oh my god, Turg, you're at this venture camp?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am. Yeah." And like, I was incredibly nervous because, again, once I saw the audition form, I like binge watched everything, and I'm like, if I get into this, I am going to just die. And then I got into it. I'm like, oh, I guess I'm dead now.
You're legally dead.
I'm legally dead.
And we're very happy you're here. All right, y'all. That is a wrap. I think we've been at this for a while, so we are going to close out real quick. Again, just want to plug the fundraiser. We're still offering voice cameos, as well as our lovely, talented artists that we are collaborating with. You can find all their details on the Google Doc, but just to shout them out by name, we have Alf, we have Corza Corpse, we have Ice Mask, we have Acidic Gecko, we
Love you,
have
River.
and we have Olive and and we have Crit Cat. So we have 6 very talented artists we're working with. They're still accepting commissions. I'm pretty sure they all are still accepting commissions. So reach out to them if you'd like some fun art. Again, thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Jared and Robert, for making all of this happen. It's been a
And
pleasure.
All Stars hype.
All Stars, and we're not
All-Stars
done. This
hype.
is just the beginning. We got All Stars
Yeah.
coming at you in just a couple short months. So stay tuned. I know they've already kind of made an announcement about it. So there's going to be more info rolling out, and we're very excited to expand the universe of DISVENTURE Camp and keep doing our thing. If anyone else had anything they wanted to say before we close out, go for it.
Love y'all.
Don't
Subscribe
forget.
to Carl Weezer Vivo.
Also, yeah, subscribe to Carl Weezer Revo.
Yeah.
I feel like
Please don't forget the
don't
Weird Adventure Camp thing.
don't forget
I won't.
don't
Don't
forget
worry.
this.
We are this venture camp.
Oh yeah,
All right,
wait.
so,
Yeah,
yeah, we're all gonna
Thank
say
you.
this at the same time.
Thank you for jumping the gun there.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
We
are
DISVENTURE
DISVENTURE
Camp.
Camp.
Yeah.
Flawless.
Correct.
It's a Marvel movie writing right there. Gross.
Avengers
Closing
assemble.
credits.
Ah.
Ending credits with a dance party with some Shakira song on it.
If
I love Shakira. Oh my god. Anyways.
Anyways, if you Venmo me, I will leak to you the elimination orders, the scripts, everything. I'll give it all to you.
Yeah, no, spoiler alert, we don't have that.
No.
Don't ask us anything.
Our chaoticness was contained until the.
All right, thank you all. Have a good one. Jared and Robert, you're good to end it.
Bye-bye.
It's
See you guys
been a
later.
pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
I'll off your